Arnold, I think I didn't get an answer on this particular issue from you. So the prayer that IEBC wants the order IEBC to be ordered to tally and verify the count and declare Raila and Karua president-elect and deputy president-elect. Is this tenable?
I actually spoke about Section 80 of the Elections Act.
Right.
That's the only hook upon which you can hang that prayer.
Right.
Now, the challenge is actually, that is one of the most interesting bits to see how the Supreme Court will actually handle Article 140 of the Constitution vis-a-vis Section 80 of the Elections Act. That's why I told you that this one is actually a cocktail of prayers and throwing everything at the wall and hoping that something will actually stick.
Right.
So some of them will be disallowed and some of them will be there. But I think at this particular point, it becomes difficult because arguing in the spirit of Article 140 then it would be that the Supreme Court, the Constitution only gives the Supreme Court only two options, to uphold or to nullify.
Right.
So then now coming down here, of course I saw some lawyer arguing that he wanted to straighten, he was the consultant in that particular job and he wanted to straighten both. But then the House got creative around it. And the House has always gotten creative around laws that bring us up to this particular place. One of those things I just need to actually go back and probably remind all of us that in the general election guidelines, specifically on the presidential election, gives Chebukati all the powers and what he did. So he didn't break any law. It talks about the chairman shall receive Form 34As and Bs from the constituency returning officers. He will tally, he will fill it in Form 34C, he will declare the winner, he will give the certificate in Form 34D. So he is covered in law already, in existing law already. So he didn't do anything on his own. The other thing that Chebukati did was that he picked the 2017 ruling, Supreme Court ruling, and identified milestones, and then put a checker there. So just ticking this one. This is what the court said. You tick. He didn't want to even consult.
But so, is there no gray area when it comes to his job and of course the commission in its entirety?
You see, there is another challenge in here. When the Constitution or any law speaks about the commission shall, even the office of the chairman is assisted by commissioners. It's not a standalone. That is why we saw them with him declaring results. We saw them everywhere. They didn't complain on anything. In fact, if Cherera's statement is anything to go by, the initial statement, she said that we did a transparent election, a free, peaceful, and everything else. It's only the tail end at the tally that actually then became problematic. That speaks to the old joke about we Kenyans, that we know how to vote, we know everything except to count. We are in court because we cannot agree on counting. And then we go back to what has actually been out there. The public has been told repeatedly that about 500,000 people voted in the presidential election and not any other election. But if you look at the petition, they're only talking about 33,000. So there's a lot of misinformation also. So if you're going to buy these things wholesale from what is actually moving around there, and some of this misinformation is actually being sold by very credible people. That's why I actually say that you will need a lot of discerning to actually just weave through falsehoods and truth. But realistically, you look at the petitions and you realize that they bring down their demands. When they speak to the people, they speak big. When they go before court where you'll actually be cross-examined, then they try to become realistic. Like, for example, ODM now does not claim they won. They claim that it's true Ruto's votes are higher, but he did not meet the 50+1 threshold by a mere 441 votes. That's their own calculation, no one else. That is Raila saying. But out here, they're telling people we won by a lot, almost in Trump's word. So we also need to be fair to the people out here, that when we communicate, we need to be consistent. But that is not the rule, rules of the game when we are doing politics.